is going on, everyone? It's Nick from Breaking the Clutch. I hope you guys are having a fantastic night. And we just dropped a Yap Yap preview stream that we actually took from Sketch and Grim Brother 1. They were recording it on their Mixer channel, and thanks to those guys for putting out a quality stream. I know the Sergeant Johnson one was a little bit shaky last time, but this time things turned out very well, and I was excited, and it seemed like most of the people in the chat were excited to see Yap Yap. A little bit of what Yap Yap has to offer. So thanks to those guys for putting that out. They absolutely did not have to do that. And coinciding with that DLC drop that should be coming between should be the week of August 14th. That's all we know. Don't spam them. Don't spam us. It's 14th to the 21st, and obviously things can get delayed. So just relax. It'll be out there as soon as they get the thumbs up. So thanks again to those guys. And then coinciding with that drop, we've got the August balance update, and we're going to go ahead and take a gander at it. And of course there are some things in here that were touched on by Pat about 5-6 days ago when Sketch put out a preview update, such as Forge's Anvil and Serena. Those things, I'm going to readdress them in this video to make sure that everyone is on the same page in case you didn't see that video and now you're seeing this video. So bear with me if you did see that previous one, or skip ahead a little bit, and you'll see the new update for the rest of the stuff. So first off, we're going Forge's Anvil round. Pretty much you can't attack air with it with the Anvil round anymore, and splash damage drops off much more rapidly, making it much less damaging against groups of units. Fantastic. Again, moving forward, we've got the Reaver major weaponry bug fix. So it was intended to do a lot more damage in the previous patch. They kind of buffed it, or they buffed it, I'm putting air quotes up even though you can't see that, and it didn't do that. Actually, it did about 50 to 60% less damage than it was originally meant to do. So I guess they nerfed it last patch, and now they're buffing it. So they fixed the bug there. Build time decreased from 20 to 18 seconds. And then we've got Serena's ice barrier. It no longer freezes or chills structures. That's a good call right there. Tundra Bison upgraded cryo mortar splash radius. It's been decreased by 33%. Cryoblast has been reduced all across the board, reduced and decreased, and then the cost has been increased. So it's going to cost you more to get a lot less of what it was actually doing, and the seismic charge has also been decreased itself. When you combine those two, you could pretty much wipe out armies of 80, 100, and I'm glad they're reducing it. Hopefully this doesn't make it broken. I mean, not broken in a sense of like overpowered, but broken as in no one ever touches Serena ever again. That's obviously not what we need. Hopefully by the end of this we can have 14, 15, 16, how many leaders are we up to? 14 maybe? Hopefully we can have 14 leaders who are just viable, and hopefully Serena's reduction here and then Forge's reduction as well kind of gives that balance. Unfortunately for Forge, I think he is dead and gone as soon as this balance update hits, but we'll analyze that once the patch comes out. Another thing, here we go. I don't think Pat covered this part. I think this is the brand new stuff right here. So important changes. Banished shield generators now escalate in cost by 100 supply and 100 power for each generator built. Similar to how power extractors escalate in cost. I don't think this is what needs to be done. I'm still convinced that Halo Wars 1 had it right, and I'm not trying to be nostalgic. I'm simply stating that Halo Wars 1 I thought did a very nice job with how the shield generators worked. For instance, you could not hide units inside of it. You only protected your base, and this made it fair when you played up against your UNSC. So what they did was, if you didn't play Halo Wars 1, just to give you a quick recap, Covenant bases were much weaker than UNSC bases. If you upgraded them all the way and you didn't have a shield on your Covenant base, your base was just weaker than a UNSC base if you compared A to B. Now how they fixed that, or how they kind of adjusted for that, was that they would put a shield generator on your base and it would take up a supply pad. So when you put that supply pad on your base, or when you put that shield generator on your base in spot of a supply pad, you would take away from your supplies and you would protect your base, and it would match it up pretty evenly with the UNSC base. So you gave pretty much a base slot for more protection, and that was I thought the best way to do it. You weren't hiding units in there again. This time around, I don't think this is the answer. I'm still under the impression that one of two things has to happen. When the main base is being shot for a banished leader, the shield gen should either A, not come up at all, just like it did in Halo Wars 1 if you shot the main base. The shield gen did not pop up. You had to, if you were attacking like supply pads, for instance, on the side and no units were attacking the main base, then that shield gen would start the counter again, and it would start pushing forward. And if you didn't attack the main every once in a while, then that shield gen would pop. Now in this, I think that should be the first thing that is fixed. I think that's the way that you kind of balance out this game. If you're attacking the main base, shield gen should never ever come up. Now, in an ideal world, I think that the shield gen should not be this dome. I think it should just like wrap around the base, and you can't hide units in it. But I don't think we're ever going to get to that point. I hope in the future that they fix, that they improve the shield gen again by not having the shield gen pop up while you're attacking the main. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. Alright, anti-vehicle units, Cyclops and Hunters, damage multiplier changes. Multipliers against medium units, tier 2 vehicles, Warthogs, Flamehogs, Mantises, and Marauders, greatly reduced by 31%. Okay, so that's interesting. And then multiplier against tier 3 increased by 7%. So, okay, a bit interesting. I guess we'll have to see how that one plays out. I'm not too familiar with how they... I mean, Cyclops and Hunters are doing a bit of damage against Warthogs. I've never seen anyone go Flamehogs, Mantises, or Marauders in recent times, so I can't compare those ones. Warthogs, I guess they're just trying to make tier 2 vehicles more relevant, but also in the same sense they're making the Cyclops and the Hunters more relevant against the later games tier 3 units. We'll have to see how that plays out. I'm going to hold judgment on that one. Warthog population is going from 4 to 3, does not affect the Flamehog. Tier 2 vehicles continue to lack viability despite the changes in earlier updates. Yeah, okay, so that's where they're going with it. I'll hold judgment on that. I like the idea of bringing in more units and making them more viable. Hopefully this isn't like a Reaver thing where they intend to nerf and then buff in the same way as you saw up here with tier 2 and tier 3, and then they just completely nerf Cyclops. Like I'm just a bit concerned. Perhaps I'm interested. Actually, that's actually interesting because I didn't know that you could have a Hunter affect tier 2 vehicles differently than tier 3 vehicles, different than tier 1. Like I always thought that they were under the same umbrella. So actually I'm gonna hold opinion on that because I was actually not aware of that. So that's really interesting, and I'll give an opinion once I test out the patch a little more. Alright, economy. Adjusted the diminishing returns curve on supply pads. This the result is that income for your 3rd and 4th bases is noticeably higher, whilst income from your 1 or 2 bases is very similar. Income from on-map energy capture point slightly reduced from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Alright, Isabel's hollow decoy. Alright, they're still trying to improve Isabel. Alright, she's still not going to get used, I don't think. Let's see. Cooldown 130 to 110, tier 1 cost 200 to 50 to 100 to 30. Tier 1 max hologram 6 to 7. Tier 1 duration 40 to 50. Tier 2 350, 75, 250. And then we've got tier 2 max holograms 10 to 11, tier 2 duration 60 to 70. Isabel has low usage rates and is considered a low tier leader, especially in the early game. Hollow Decoy is one of her signature abilities and is available with the first leader point. This heavily reduces the cost of Hollow Decoy, as well as slightly reducing cooldown and slightly increasing the number of holograms. Okay. Here's the thing with Isabel, and maybe I can do a video on this if you guys want to see it. It's very easy to spot what units are the hollow decoys and which ones aren't. The hollow decoys do no damage. So if you have someone who tries to attack, like I've seen several instances where someone pushes with the hollow decoy in the front of the base and then they push their units in the back. First of all, if the hollow decoy shows up at the front of your base and it's doing no damage to your base, guess what? It's a hologram. Look towards the back of your base because it's probably flanking you. So maybe if you combine them all together, I can see certain scenarios in which you can catch someone off guard and take the battle advantage. I'm just not buying into it. We'll see. Maybe better players than me can exploit Isabel and her new update right there. So hopefully Isabel comes a little bit more into play. I'm just not buying into it at this moment. Aatrox Dying Breath cost 250.20 to 30 to 380. Unbreakable cost 2,100 to 1,200, 800. Yeah, I actually like that about Unbreakable. Maybe I would prefer like 1500 to 800. The cost seemed a little high, but hopefully this brings it more into range, because I think it only lasted for like 8 or 9 seconds anyways. Kinsano's Hell Charge buff area of effect, radius increased by 33, 83, 100. So it looks like they're trying to bring Kinsano back a little bit more, buffed an extremely small number of units, making it not worth the cost and making Heat of Battle clearly a superior choice. Yeah. We'll see about that one. Kinsano, I haven't seen anyone really run Kinsano except Andrew, and I don't even know if he was taking that seriously. He did that in our 2v2 matchup against myself, Pat, and he was playing with Ed, and he used Kinsano, and I think he used it in the only way that Kinsano can really be used, which is early rush, attack with the Flamers, attack with the Marines, and then add a little bit of Flame Hogs in there at the end. I don't know. I don't think I'll see Kinsano really in Season 5 or whatever we're at right now. Classic Spartans, Jerome, Alice, Douglas. Ground pound damage 1250 to 2200. The impact fall off radius for max area of effect damage has been reduced by 70%, and speed is 13 to 15 now. Spartans still lag behind other heroes in terms of usefulness. This step will allow them to compete with more heroes. I don't know. Not as of yet. Whoa. Let's go back up. Glassing Beam. Tier 1 damage plus 9%. Tier 2 damage plus 5%. Decimus Boundless Siphon. Lifesteal. His lifestyle. His lifesteal increased by 250%. When did we last see a number like this? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying right there. I'm going to have to test that. Decimus is Vortex Lightning. Tier 1 damage, 10%, Tier 2 damage, negative 10%. I guess they both went down by 10%. I'm confused on that. All right, Shroud cost 550 to 450. They still cost too much in the cap space, if I do say so. I'm still not buying into the Shroud thing. Siege turret costs 900 to 750. Projectile velocity increased by approximately 128%. Projectile velocity increased by 128%. Alright, here we go. Hunter's Captain Lifesteal increased by approximately 32%. Arbiter's Enforcer drop now spawns 3 squads instead of 4. Cost and pop adapted accordingly. Wolverine reduced area of effect splash damage against ground targets by 70%. Johnson's Bunker no longer has a pop requirement. Thank you. Anders Beacon Sentinels no longer provide LOS. LOS. Anders been... Someone put what LOS means in the comments down below. I can't think of that at the moment. Kodiak. Artillery damage to non-infantry targets increased by 20% in Blisterback pop 8 to 7. Supply cost 700 to 600. That is it. I agree with you. Breezy Starfish 1 right here. Huzzah for the changes. Let's take a look at these. Thanks for the patch notes. And huzzah is correct. Yep. Decimus Boundless Siphon might actually do something noticeable now. I always find it weird how it seemed out flat. Okay. Looks like some positive stuff for the patch notes. Again, they'll be dropping between August 14th. Well, I'm not even going to say between. August 14th and beyond is when you can expect it. Again, things change, things happen, bugs get found out, and maybe some things have to be pushed back. So expect it around August 14th in that week. If it doesn't come out that week, don't shoot the messenger. Also, don't spam 343. They are aware. They're trying to push out the content as quickly as possible and efficiently as possible. So again, we can expect it fairly soon. Forge's Anvil round is almost over. The dark days are almost over. I think that's going to do it though. Again, check out the Yap Yap preview stream in the description down below if you haven't seen that one yet. And until next time, guys, thank you so much and have a great night.